I think
Yep, it's
you'll
being
have to
managed.
just change your
Oh,
privacy.
yes. Oh, yeah, the settings. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, good. Yep, and it's public now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Namaste and welcome everybody to the Vedas Simplified Part 6. Apologies for the late start. Yeah, we're really looking forward to what Alka has to present to us today. I have no idea what she's going to cover, but whatever she's going to talk about, I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you, Alka. Again, as in accord with tradition, I'm going to open this up with a it's sort of it's you could say it's a song that's based on the philosophy of the Gita. It's actually a Kumaoni song. It's part of the documentary Angwal that my father made and that we recently premiered. Goodness, yeah, the day before yesterday. I'm losing track of time. It was on Monday. So the meaning, it's called Tal. So it's the analogy is referring to a boat in the middle of the lake. And just to briefly summarize the meaning, it's talking about the speaker's addressing the boatman, saying that you're in the middle of the lake. Don't get tired, just keep rowing, and don't be daunted by the fog. And it refers to the five senses. It symbolizes it's the symbolism of the five senses are five passengers in the boat, and it just tells the boatman that just if you go off course, you just straighten the boat and just stay on course. So I hope you like it. बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, थकने चला चला पतवार, थकने चला चला पतवार, अरे बयाली के घर पे, अरे बयाली के घर पे, धीरज धर तेरी लग जल पाए, धीरज धर तेरी लग जल पाए, बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, थकने चला चला पतवार, थकने चला चला पतवार, पांच दगाड़ बैठी छन ये में, पांच दगाड़ बैठी छन ये में, त्योर ख्वारच इन रोभार, त्योर ख्वारच इन रोभार, बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, थकने चला चला पतवार, थकने चला चला पतवार, संभल सबन के सिद्ध करनों के, संभल सबन के सिद्ध करनों के, चौकन्नो हो रो होशियार, चौकन्नो हो रो होशियार, बीच ताल में नौए गिरे, बीच ताल में नौए गेरे थकने चला चला पतवार थकने चला चला पतवार थकने चला चला पतवार.
Wow, Tara, your voice is so soothing. It's like Saraswati. Oh, wow.
Oh, thank you, Alka. Thank you. No,
Just like
the credit goes to
very,
my
very,
music gurus and to the composers who compose this beautiful melody, like for this Kumaoni poem by Shamacharan Pant. So, yeah, thank you, Alka. Yeah, please go ahead and yeah.
I'll try to share my screen.
Yeah. Yep, I can see your screen.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. Yep.
Okay, thanks, Uttara, for taking so much of an interest in Vedas and singing such beautiful songs every time. Like, it's so soothing when I hear you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I'll
pleasure.
also want to thank all my gurus as well. I've got I try to listen to them every day, at least for some time. And the knowledge that they have shared is like amazing. I'm really thankful to all of them. And stop me wherever you have questions, Atra, yeah?
Sure,
So Vedas tell us about human life, the importance of human life. It says that in total, there are 4 lakh species in the entire galaxy. And there are 84 lakh species in total. So 4 lakh species of just human species. And there is an importance in human species. It's also mentioned in the, I think, Bhagavad Gita as well. It is said that there are few things like food, sleep, fear, and mating. These acts of humans are similar to animals. So between humans and animals, these 4 are similar. But out of them, humans have got a special quality, which is dharma. They have the ability, they have the wisdom to, understand Bhagwan, so Brahman, which is like the ultimate reality. And it is said that once we get a human birth, it is possible that the next birth might not be human. We can go in the 84 lakh, which is 84 lakh species. We can go into any of this. But our spiritual knowledge can go into the different birth as well. So even if, for example, we are getting a new birth as an animal in the next birth, we will still have the spiritual knowledge that we have gathered in this human birth, but it is very difficult to gain something more in any other form. It's only in a human body, a person or a jivatma is able to gather more spiritual knowledge. So that is why it is said that human life is very, very important to receive. Do you have any questions, Uttara? Or can we move forward?
No, yep, please go forward.
I think this is a repeat from the first, the live Facebook Live that we had. This is like Vedas have 4 stages of sound. So 4 stages of sound are like para, which is there is a sound that manifests in our prana, and there is another sound that manifests in our mind. So there are some things which only our prana will understand. There are some things that our mind can understand. There is another form of sound that our indriyas, the sense organs that we have, they can understand. And then there is the 4th kind of sound, which can be manifested as an expression in our expression. So human beings, we in Kali Yuga, we are only able to understand the 4th kind, I think. For everything else, like to understand what the meaning is in a prana, in the mind, in the indriyas, we need something called a soma, which gives a human being a higher perception to understand the other forms of sound. Yeah. And Sri K.N. Raoji says that Vedic astrology or Jyotishya, it's a light. Jyoti means light. It's a beautiful bridge between para and aparavidya. Para is like the paranormal, things that our human eyes or sense organs can't see. And aparavidya, which is like the science or something that we can perceive with our current, sensory organs that we have. And Vedic knowledge is like it has got like Vedas have got knowledge about both aparavidya, which is material knowledge, as well as vidya, which is spiritual knowledge or paranormal knowledge as well. And we here have Indra, who has got higher perception. Indra is said to have like 100 eyes, and Varuna, he has got 1,000 eyes, so he has got high perception. So it depends on us, like how as a human being we develop ourselves, we develop our consciousness through various methods that we choose, either meditation, bhakti, or other methods. So it depends upon us how our tapasya or how our hard work or practice that we follow daily, so that we can develop some higher perception to understand firstly ourselves, our jivatma, and then Paramatma, and then obviously Brahman, which is like should be the ultimate goal as per Vedas. Do you have any questions, Adra, or we can move forward?
No, that's fine. Yeah, please go forward. Yeah.
Okay. I would like to show this one. So one thing that we need to understand from Vedas, and this is from Upanishad, is like truth is one, but it can be told differently. But truth is always the same. Yeah. Ekam sat vipara bahuda vadanti. I think that's how it is pronounced. And I had come across a speaker. He is also known as Baba. I don't know if you have known him before.
This is so weird. Only today I happened to come across his videos in YouTube for algorithms. Isn't that synchronicity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was a mathematician, and he left that. And I think one of his quotes is so striking. He mentioned that all our scientists were sages in the ancient times. And that struck me because that is so true. And I think in the future as well, where as we move from age of Pisces to age of Aquarius, all our scientists will be sages as well. So, which is a wonderful thing to say, and I think it's true as well. So he gave us some knowledge about, say, for example, this shloka. And the shloka's meaning is, O Krishna, the fortune of gopis, the destroyer of demon Madhu, the protector of cattle. So there is a meaning of this shlok, which is in Sanskrit, say. But then there is a deeper meaning of it as well. So you see, like how we mentioned that there are various sounds, there is also meaning. Sri K.N. Raoji also mentioned like each shabda and shabdartha and artha, there can be different meanings, different layers. So Vedas have got so many of these, like there would be Sanskrit shlokas in Vedas. It would have certain meaning for certain, as we develop our consciousness or through our practice and meditation, we would be able to find a deeper layer. So that is why the same thing, when we hear again and again, there is a deeper layer that comes and we get those eureka moments, like so they have like different meanings. So as mentioned, like this shloka has got a meaning here, and then there is a deeper meaning where each word is deciphered as one numeral. Yeah, when we add all this word and keep here, we get something called a 3.1415 up till so many digits, and this is nothing but pi. You know, the English, the mathematics pi,
Oh,
the
yes.
value of pi,
Oh, wow.
till the point until so many digits. Like even after, like I don't know if you have studied maths in in your high standard, but then if
Yes.
you have, like you would know, like it's we would have only stopped 3.1415. But
Yeah.
in this shloka, it has given like accurate number till so many digits. So
Wow.
there is always, like in these Vedic scriptures, there is always deeper meaning. So as per our tapasya, as per our sadhana, we would be able to understand like the deeper layers within them. So, and this is called as Katapayadi Sankhya, where we get this, value.
Oh, so sorry, could you explain again how they got this value? Is this from sorry if I
So
interrupt.
if you see like Gopi Bhagya, G-O, yeah, G.
Go.
G here, the Sankhya given to G is 3.
Oh, is it just like
Yeah.
numerology? Like with
Yes, it's exact. And then you go to P.
yeah.
P is 1.
Ah,
The 3.1
yeah.
and go P, I, E.
Oh.
So where is E?
Oh.
Yeah.
For
Um,
oh, I see. So
so
I'm
yeah.
curious. So how does the decimal point? How did they calculate the decimal point?
Well, I think it's something to do with, but then when they deciphered this,
Yeah.
and they went to the Sankhya. There is like each alphabet, if you put that into K as 1, K as 2, G. So this is like Hindi alphabets, say for example.
Oh, I see.
So Sanskrit at the moment, I think we have lost the actual scriptures of Sanskrit. So like if you have studied in school, you would either use English scriptures and or in Hindi scriptures. But then if you just put all of them as K as 1, K as 2, G as 3,
Yeah.
G as 4, and so on, and then you decipher these words, it's like, I don't know if you have seen this movie, I think it's uh, Imagination Code or something like that,
No, I
where
haven't. Yeah.
so it's like so this is also used in a lot of computer languages as well, where you decipher the code. You know,
Oh,
if you have like a password, how is that password hidden? Like they decipher the password into something else and then they store it. And then if somebody say hacks the computer and gets the password, they're not actually getting the password, but then they are getting a code which they
ah,
have to then again decipher back to what exactly is the password. So
ah,
it's like an encryption that is mentioned in here.
I see.
And what they have found out was like this particular, shlok had a meaning, actual
Mm.
meaning, which people can understand. It is like, it shows like a lot of bhakti as well. It's a devotion for Krishna. But then when they actually put that into, mathematics, they found that it is actually giving us the value of pi until so many numbers.
Wow. So,
So that
so,
was
so
fascinating.
who were the ones who actually first figured this out when they
Oh, well, we need to ask Baba ji. Yeah,
wow.
but this has been deciphered like long back. But then I think I understood it from like Babaji, who is like a very, very beautiful author and speaker.
Yeah.
He has also mentioned something about, the star Arundhati.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you know about that. So if you see in the sky, it only appears as if the one star.
Mm.
But then every like in all the Vedic scriptures, they said that Arundhati and her husband, they are both together. They're going together. And when they actually saw in the sky, they found that it was a binary star. It was not one star. It was two stars rotating. So how did someone say 2,500 years or 5,000 years back knew that it was a binary, star? And it's like they always said through all these stories that it is Arundhati, and she is with her husband because she's like so pure, and there are other stories around her. But then always, whenever they saw the sky, they said that that is star Arundhati, and she is with her husband. And even till today, in the Vedic marriage ceremonies, after the Vedic marriages happen, the priest takes the couples and then they show the star Arundhati, because it's like she's with the husband always. And then when scientists actually found that it is a binary star. So what happens is, when, in case of binary star, what happens is the star, one star is in the middle and the other star revolves around it. But in the case of the star Arundhati, both are moving in parallel as if they are husband and wife. They're not, so one star is not moving around. They're both moving synchronously.
Wow.
So they always knew that they are husband and wife, and because only husband and wife, they have to move in a sync.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
Otherwise it won't
wow.
work.
That's
Yeah.
so remarkable. What would Arundhati be in the according to the system, the Western system of astronomy? What would they be called? I'm curious
Let
now.
me find out. That's a good question. I never asked.
Hmm.
Star Arundhati. It's the star with Alcor, Alcor,
Oh,
which forms a double star with Mizar, miser. Yeah. And
oh,
it is identified as Vashishta Maharshi as well. And it's in the Ursha major, if you have
oh,
heard about that.
oh, Ursa Major.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the constellation according to the Western system of astronomy.
Yes.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I think Ursa Major, I think if I'm not wrong, I think that's also the constellation where according to the Indian system of astrology, the Saptarishis are meant to be.
Yes. The Kritikas.
Yeah, Kritikas, yeah.
So there is another fabulous story about the Kritikas. Like, these were all Saptarishi and their wives. The wives were very intelligent and they were very extremely beautiful. And there is a Vedic god called Agni, who is the god of fire. And in his mind, he was very, he wanted to, marry all these wives of other sages. So he was always dreaming about them because they were so beautiful and so intelligent. And so there was another lady, Swaha, who got to know what, Agni Dev is thinking. So Swaha, she took the form of all these, so she disguised herself and took the form of all these, wives, all the 6 wives. And then she had like dating episodes with Agni Dev. And later on, Agni Dev found out was Swaha helped so that he didn't commit any sin. He was with a different woman, just as Swaha had disguised herself 6 times. So but then she couldn't disguise herself as Arundhati, because she was so pure. Even in like for someone to disguise her, it was impossible, because she was so pure and so devoted to her husband. So that is why. So there are these stories which we think as stories, but when we see in the sky, and now when scientists are actually finding them, you can see like how the star is binary star Arundhati and her husband. And the other stars, I think they fall under Taurus, Kritika, and half in Aries as well, I think.
Yeah.
And in the sky, if you see like there is it will appear as a bull, and there are 6 stars. And the other star is so tiny, like Arundhati, it's not visible also like with the naked eye. But then I don't know how our ancients knew that there are like 7 stars up there. One is outside, and she's a little bit far as well.
Yeah. That is so interesting. I'm just so fascinated by how they knew that it's a binary star, and it's just so amazing, that they had all this stuff figured out, I don't know how many thousands of years ago, it makes you wonder, how did they know this? Was it true? Did they have some technology that we don't know of, or did they have some divine sight, or a bit of both, I mean, so it's just so fascinating. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, this is something that is fascinating about Vedas. Like once you read all of it or understand it for the first time, you think, okay, I'm done. I know everything. And then when you read the same thing again or try to understand the same thing again, there is another level to it. And then there is another level. And it just goes on. For spirituality, there is no end. It is like, that is why nobody can master it. It's like infinite knowledge. I would highly recommend you listen to talks by Babaji, and amazing, the maths and the way he explains it will be amazing for you to understand this as well.
Absolutely. And you say he worked as a mathematician before.
He's a mathematician, and then I think he left mathematics too. He said that I better be. I think I forgot his exact term, but I think what he meant was I rather not be a corrupt mathematician. I'd rather be explain for humanity and yeah.
No, wow, corrupt mathematician.
And he got
you don't know what goes on like in these various fields.
I think he got associated with Art of Living and Guru Sri Ravi Shankar.
Yes.
So so similarly, Mahamrityunjaya mantra, it has got some codes. It has got both vortex and fractal. So today, I think the entire slide I've kept a little bit mathematical. I don't know, but I've kept it a bit simple as well. Let's see if we can understand it. In Mahamrityunjaya mantra, you would find there is a talk of a cucumber. So I think Urva Vatakam is like a cucumber. Yeah. And that cucumber, when it drops from its stem, the seeds come out in form of a spiral, and there is a movement as well. And when you calculate that, you will understand there is a vortex mathematics behind it. There is fractal mathematics behind it. So there is like a spiral and there is a forward movement as well. Yeah. So we will try to see if I can share my screen. Show all windows. Okay, I don't think I can share it.
Or maybe
I wanted to share. Okay, let's see if I can share this.
Were you wanting to play the video? Yeah, I can see something.
Are you able to see it?
Yes, I think what you should make sure is that, I don't know whether when you press share, you press share sound as well. Yeah, if you wanted to share the sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me try to show you the cucumber, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you see, it's falling from the stem, and all the seeds are, dropping like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, so you see all the seeds coming out. So if you see there is a spiraling movement, this is like downwards, obviously.
Yes.
And the seeds are moving so if you calculate this motion, you would know that it's both vortex as well as Fibonacci fractal, and there is golden ratio as well. So I would stop share.
Thank you.
I would share my screen again.
Yep, I can see your screen.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's fascinating. Even everywhere in Rig Veda, there are mantras which talk about these sequences. which is vortex mathematics, fractal mathematics. There is golden ratio, Fibonacci. So we'll try to understand a little bit of what is vortex. Yeah. On YouTube, like I found like this person is very good in explaining. His channel is Mathologer, and he has explained like a lot of these mathematics concepts as well. So what exactly happens in vortex is like if you put all these numbers 1, 2, 3, all till 9 in the circle, what happens is if you add 1 to 1, it's like 2. Then you add 2 plus 2 itself, it becomes 4. 4 plus 4 again, it's 8. 8 plus 8, it becomes like 16. So 16 is like 1 plus 6. Yeah, you need to add, like if it comes like 2 digits, you just add both the digits. Yeah, it becomes 7. You would then add 7 plus 7, it becomes 14. So 4 plus 1 is 5. Yeah. And 5 plus 5 is 10. So 1 plus 0 is 1 again.
Wow.
So what happens is you just have to draw a line to what you have found. So, and then again, when you do 1 plus 1 again, it comes to the same sequence. If you see the sequence, it just repeats. Like you see this W here.
Yeah.
It just keeps on repeating and repeating and repeating.
Wow.
So I'll start again, like 1 plus 1 is 2. So you draw a line from 1 to 2. Yeah. 2 plus 2, 4. You draw a line till 4. We'll add this, wherever we have ended, we'll add the same number. So 4 plus 4, 8. We'll go till 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So you put a line till 7. 7 plus 7, 14. So 4 plus 1, 5. You add, you come to 5. 5 plus 5 is again 10. So you add like 1, it comes to 1 because 1 plus 0. Yeah. And then you go on doing it, you will just keep on coming to, no matter how big the number is, you will just get this sequence. And these numbers keep on, so you see this triangle?
Yes.
So the thing between 9, 6, and 3 is like they keep on repeating. So for example, 3 plus 3 is 6. It comes to 6 again. 6 plus 6, 12 is 1 plus 2, 3. Again, 3. So this line stays the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 9 plus 9, 18. So 9 is also constant. So I don't know if you remember Tesla, Nikola Tesla. He mentioned like if we know the concept, this secrets about 3, 6, and 9, we will understand a lot of things.
Yeah. Plus also when you add 3 plus 6, that makes 9 as well. So
yeah. So that's the concept behind the vortex. So if you see vortex, like this is like the movement. So the movement can either go forward or it can also go backward. Yeah. But this is nothing but it is showing you a movement. And we'll see like how in the future it is showing the movement. And I think Fibonacci sequence we had discussed, like the concept of Fibonacci sequence is slightly different. Like you take like 1 and then add 1 plus 1, 2. 2 you keep in the middle and put the same 1 and 1 in here. Yeah. Then again add 1 plus 2, it becomes 3. You add 3 here. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 here and 1 and 1 again. If you keep on doing, so 3 plus 1, 4, 3 plus 3, 6, 3 plus 1, 4 again, and you keep 1 and 1 like that. So you'll come up with this structure, which is like a pyramid. But then if you put that into in these concepts, you'll see like Fibonacci sequence is like it keeps on repeating again and again. I would like to show you something else as well, which is How do I share my? I can't share my.
Oh, we wanting to share our windows again or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me stop the share again.
Yeah.
And put it here. Let me try if I can do it now. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah, I can see YouTube.
So this is not the exact view of our system, our solar system, but you would see like there is both vortex, which is forward or backward movement, and the sequence is like a spiral, which is Fibonacci. Yeah. So if you see, it's going forward and in a Fibonacci. So this is like a combination of both vortex as well. So you see like our sun is there and all the planets are moving around it. And even the sun is moving. So all of it is the combination of vortex and Fibonacci both together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I'll try to stop share and share my main screen again.
Yep, sure. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I can see your main screen with your slides again. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so when we see like vortex and Fibonacci, if we combine all these concepts, we will understand Mahamrityunjay mantra, like which cucumber it is talking about, what is like the mathematics behind it. So we need to understand like for everything in the Vedas, there is one which is, which we can manifest in our expression. There is a meaning to which our expressions can understand. Then there is a meaning that Indriyas can understand, then mind can understand, and then prana can understand. So there is always a paranormal meaning to everything in the Vedas. And we saw one of the examples where there is slightly, I'm sure like even after this, there will be another meaning, which we haven't deciphered yet. So similarly in Mahamrityunjay mantra, it has told us about a cucumber, and when we understand the mathematics behind it, we will understand the concept of vortex that it has been telling us, also the Fibonacci sequence. The term Fibonacci sequence, it was first introduced to the West in 1202, in the year 1202, to Leonardo of Pisa, and his name was Fibonacci. So that is why the English name Fibonacci is mentioned. But then it was taken by, he understood that from India. So this came like, it was mentioned in the Vedas like way, way, way before. It's just that he understood it, and that is why his name got associated with the sequence. And also Vedas tell us about a concept of as above so below. So this is like a little diagram to give you an analogy, like this is, say for example, the universe, and this is all of us. Yeah. If you see, the entire universe looks exactly the same as us.
Yeah.
So this is, for example, the universe pretending to be individuals. So if you see this microcosm and macrocosm, they are all the same.
Wow.
And it is also told to be holographic in nature, which is like that. Yeah.
Yes, that I really love that image. Yeah,
It's very cute.
very cute and funny, and actors are really really clever as well.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And interestingly, if you see, like there have been diagrams, like if you follow Mathologer, his YouTube, he has come across where like he'll give you a lot of mathematics, and there would be instances where he would come up with beautiful diagrams like this. And uh, if you compare those with those diagrams with the yantras that we have,
Yeah.
They're exactly the same. Like the concept is exactly the same. So I'm just thinking how mathematically developed our ancients were. Like, what were they actually studying? They were studying all these energies, all these frequencies. They're talking in such deep level there. So there is like an understanding gap between us and them. So, these are like various diagrams. And I think in one of the Facebook Live, we understood about sonification, where they are
Yeah.
putting sound to universe. Like even NASA has started putting sound into the universe, and they get beautiful, melodies when the sound passes through a particular galaxy, particular, solar system. They get these different, tunes, and it's
Wow.
amazing.
So how do they send out these sounds? Do they use some sort of machine, I think, or like
I need to understand. I need to speak to some NASA scientists how they actually do
yeah,
it.
you need to
But then, if you Google on YouTube sonification and NASA, even NASA has given so many examples. And every day I try to listen to a few the sounds
yeah, I
because
listen. I really like the links that you
yes,
shared in another platform. I listened to them and I thought, oh, they're so interesting, so nice to hear. So I thought
yeah,
I'd put them on
yeah.
Facebook. But thank you for
So,
sharing, all this information and all these links. It's really so
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so I think all these tala, raga, and different things that we have, there is definitely some association, because
Oh,
there it
must be.
cannot be that it has just come over like just like that. They have done a lot of study behind it, and we are
Yeah.
yet to decipher. Yeah.
Yeah, because according to classical music, there are certain rules about certain rags, where what time of day is designated for each rag, to be sung, and even there are even certain rags that are supposed to be sung in a particular season or a particular time of year. So that's so interesting, and how there's a tale of how I think it's about dancing, where some people say it's a myth, but the story is that that he was asked to sing Deepak Rag by Akbar. I think it was with a lot of reluctance that he sang it, and then it caused his whole body to heat
Mm.
up. It was quite dangerous for him to sing Rag
Wow.
Deepak, and then his daughters had to sing. I think it was Rag Megh. I think that was the name of the rag. If I got it wrong, sorry, but it was a rag for basically bringing rains. Yeah, for bringing rains to
Wow.
help try to save him, to save his life. And so that was just so interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are yet to understand the deeper level. Like there is definitely deeper meaning in it. Like just imagine, like Vedas are so ancient, and they are telling us like things like Bhugol, which is they knew that Earth was round,
Yeah.
and also hologram, because they know like there is another layer which is giving a hologram image as well. So
And
it might
what's the Sanskrit term for that, the hologram
hologram,
thing?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But then it's definitely Bhugol is I know, because it's like Bhu
Round
is like
Earth. Yeah.
when you learn geometry is known as Bhugol studies as well, which is Bhu is Bhumi or Earth,
Earth. Yeah.
goal is round. So
Round.
they
Yeah.
always knew that the earth is round.
Yeah.
And hologram, I think the concept, the ninth mandala of Rig Veda, if you understand the deeper level, there is a substance, it tells us about soma. And there is so much of description. I think we need to decipher a lot in those hymns, that what they are trying to say. And I think in there they have mentioned it's like a hologram, and that we are creating our own reality. So every jivatma is whatever it is thinking, as per their thinking, they are creating their reality. So your reality might be different than my reality. But then having said that, because our Jivatma and Paramatma, they are both facing each other, when they both merge, everything appears to be same. So there is no difference. So that is why Soma was important, because once people have Soma in them, say there are different methods. Our ancients used to eat psychedelics or something to generate soma. There are other bhakti movements, like 64 types of bhakti that we understood in the previous podcast, where we knew that there are 64 methods of bhakti that can help us generate soma. There are 64 different varieties of, say, tantra and other methods as well, meditation and other methods, where the soma can be understood, generated in human body. What it does is it makes sure, like the sushumna and the ida and pingala, they both get merged. So our jivatma and paramatma, it appears to be one. There is no difference.
Oh, interesting.
And the sushumna gets activated. So sushumna is like the middle channel. It is said that the jivatma, when we get a new birth, the jivatma comes to the body through sushumna. The middle channel that we have. So if somebody in the future, they study like all the subtle body and physical body, they will know that the atma or the jivatma comes to the human body from the sushumna, which is in the middle, but then it sleeps as a coil. And the coil is nothing but ida and pingala, which is left and the right. One is associated with Rahu, one is associated with Ketu, and also one is associated with the sun, and one is associated with the moon. But then when soma, the substance is, bless you.
Oh, sorry.
Bless you. When the soma substances get, activated, what happens is there is no difference between the jivatma and paramatma. Everything appears to be the one. And you would not find any difference between anything in the universe. Like wherever you see, like people who have generated soma through or any of these methods, be it bhakti or other meditative methods, or say tantra, or by taking psychedelics, what happens is they generate this power so that the jivatma and paramatma, there is no difference, and they see everything as one, and that creates a bliss, a state of ecstasy, or like parma ananda, which makes everyone that type of happiness is equivalent to the happiness that Brahman has, and that makes everyone look as one. But when we separate from that actual ultimate reality from Brahman, everything appears different. So my reality appears different than your reality. Your reality will appear different than your parents' reality, and so on. So we are creating our own reality. But having said that, we are all one. And as our thinking, as per our karma, we are thinking that we are separate. So this diagram is the key, like the universe and us, there is no difference at all.
Yes. So yeah, that's so beautiful. So I know Rahu Ketu, they make I know they're part of that sleeping coil, and I know you said there was also something associated with the sun and the moon. So is so Ida and Pingala, they so just to remind me, is Ida associated with is it Ketu and
yes, so I don't know if I have a diagram of it now.
Yeah. Don't worry if you don't. Yeah, I know we actually covered it.
Yeah,
before.
one is definitely associated with Rahu, and the other one is associated with Ketu. But then it is like a sleeping coil, which is sleeping near the Muladhara that we have, the chakra. Yeah. But then there are methods, like all the 64 different kind of bhakti, 64 different type of meditation and tantra, or 64 different types of psychedelics, probably. So there are different methods.
What types of psychedelics? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think previously our ancients used to eat like different, like there used to be a wine tree which was used. There used to be like some sort of lotus plants as well, and mostly different varieties of mushrooms that they used to eat. But then I have a feeling that they all have got extinct. There was major rivers that were drying, like the Saraswati River dried some 2,500 years ago, I think. So a lot of these climate change and also in like coming to Kali Yuga, it is said that these soma substances, that they got extinct, and now our perception is limited. We have very, very limited perception, and that can only be raised from other channel or other methods, like say previously they used to use like tantra or meditation and other 64 different methods. Or now in Kali Yuga, it is said that the bhakti method, the bhakti route, is like the most easiest method to develop soma within us.
I
So
see.
these are just different methods, but the reality, like the first thing that we truth is one, but then everyone has different methods of saying. So
Yeah, there are many different
many
paths
different ways of
to
doing the
the
same thing.
source, and I guess it also, you apply that to, because when it comes to different religions, they're all just different ways of
Different ways,
reaching
yes.
different paths to reaching,
Yeah.
that same ultimate goal. So, or that ultimate source of everything. That's lovely. So, although about the substances, I mean, I know that I think that there are some shamans or shamans, I think that they use their own kind of methods. I don't know whether it's similar, but
Ayahuasca and all that.
yeah, I ask all that. I've heard, I've never done it, myself, but
Yeah.
I've heard of these things. Yeah, but I know maybe I don't know. I know I don't know much about ayahuasca. I think I don't know. Maybe that's different from the the mushrooms or whatever substances they use. But it's interesting these different methods that people use. But I know, as you said, bhakti is like the easiest way, probably the most accessible for everyone. But yeah, I know you said there are different various methods, that people use. So, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So these are like different methods, and to understand the same thing. And the other thing is like, the soul or our jivatma, when it comes from a different birth to the new birth, it comes via the sushumna, the middle channel, and the maths or the motion is like vortex, mathematics, and fractal. It comes in the same spiraling order and the same motion as per vortex mathematics and fractal mathematics into Sushumna, and then that's where it just sits. It's up to us to develop or raise our consciousness through any method that we choose, so that we can activate that spiritual energy within us. So this is like a diagram of how everything in the universe moves, right from our jivatma, our soul, to everything in the universe. You will find the same concepts like in flowers and trees and in your nerves and your everywhere. Now you will find this in the DNA as well. You will see like it's the same spiral and same concept. And this is like I think we saw like the model of the it's not the 100% exact model, but it gives you some visual idea of how the spiral and the vortex and the fractal works.
yeah,
And this is also another concept where you can see this 9. So if you just put all these numbers here, you will see 9, 3, and 6 being constant,
yeah,
and 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, which is like the vortex numbers.
yeah.
1, 2, 4, 5, 8, and 7.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they are there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And if you put the same numbers here again, you see there is a combination of Fibonacci as well. So for example, if you're adding 1 and 2 here, this is 3.
yeah,
2 and 3 here, it is 5.
yeah.
3 and 4 here, it's 7. 5 and 4 here is 9. So this diagram is like a combination of both vortex and Fibonacci or fractal.
Wow, pretty mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you see like the yantras, like Sri Yantra, the Mount Meru,
yeah,
you see the Mount Meru like two types. One is like up, and one is going down. Yeah. So moving up is like the giver. So it's the motion is going upwards, and moving down, the motion is going downwards. So they're nothing but they're giving the same, but the motion is different.
Mm.
So when we say masculine energy, it is like more of a giver, and feminine is more of an acceptor. So it's not similar to the current female and male that we understand, but it's a slightly different concept.
Oh, is it about how masculine energy is about
Yeah, it's
action or
just
being active?
telling you like different movements. Like one is like moving in a different direction, and the other is moving in a different direction.
I
But
see.
the concept is like it is still giving the vortex and fractal.
Oh, so like masculine is more like about action, and femininity is more about being receptive, kind of like yin and yang. Is that?
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
feminine is more like receptive, and masculine is more like a giving. So if you notice this diagram here,
Yeah.
and you can either see these circles as going inside or coming out,
Yeah.
like a pyramid.
Yeah.
Like in a 3D world, because this is like a two-dimensional picture.
Yeah.
Three-dimensional, you can either think that this bindu or the center is going inward, or the bindu is on the top, and this is like a pyramid.
Yeah. Wow.
So that is like the movement up and down. Yeah.
Ah, I see. And this that one above that circle, that kind of spiraling thing,
That
that's
is the
really
spiraling
fascinating.
nature. That is also like a representation. So when we talk about yantras, there are two-dimensional yantra, which is given on paper, or three-dimensional, which is like Mount Meru, which is like a three-dimensional. It's more visually, we can understand it more. But when it comes to mathematics, I think people use two-dimensional, papers as well. So it's so yantras can be both two-dimensional and three-dimensional. Mantra is nothing but when you put sound into all these diagrams, you get different mantras. But that is why mantras are also related to this. And tantra is when you are using your own body and making sure like all these mathematics is happening like through yoga, or even in yoga there is a lot of mathematics, a lot of breathing that has to sync with the body as well.
Oh,
So
that's so interesting. I didn't think of that. So yeah, because man and tra. So man is the mind, and tra.
mind.
Yeah, I know that a friend that Prashant, I think he is saying that tra is means to free, and tan I know means body, and tra is kind of like freeing the body, yeah, through yoga and exercise. But mantra is like freeing your mind through chanting these,
And
through these various Sanskrit chants. So these sloks and yantra. So what does yan mean? I think
young, good idea. I don't know
I'm
what yantra.
oh my
Oh,
Rikshira
yeah.
like coming
Good,
into
that's
motion. The day is running in my head.
Now let's find out what it's a good question to ask. It says it's a geometrical diagram, so I think it comes from that word.
Interesting.
Yantra means machine.
Machine.
Yeah, so yantra is like machine, like it's based on all these mathematics as
Ah,
well.
interesting. Kind of like
Yeah. So yeah, the Wikipedia says that yantra means literally machine. Yeah.
interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that one in the middle also looks interesting. The purple
Yeah,
dot,
so
what
this is
time
also
actually is.
so it's very difficult to put all these into words. So I think like pictures help us a little bit. So we think like the past, present, and future, they are happening like this. And we also understood from Vedas there's a cause and effect, the karta and the karan. My Guruji, Sri Kripalji Maharaj, Jagat Guru Sri Kripalji Maharaj, he used to mention that बिना कारण के कोई कार्य नहीं होता है. Means without cause there is no effect, without effect there is no cause, so they are both interlinked, and the link is based on vortex mathematics and fractal mathematics. So everything in the universe, our karma, the results that has been put into different buckets as per our karma is nothing but whatever our mind is thinking, the human mind, the physical body of the human mind is thinking, that becomes the karma. and all of them is put into different buckets. And for every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there is a cause, and they are being put into different buckets. And if you see the diagram, it will show you some diagram like this.
Yeah.
If you do the mathematical calculation. So our birth chart is nothing but the calculations that are behind how our product is being calculated.
Yeah.
And this is what actually time is. It is both, spiral. It's not exactly a spiral. It's it's both vortex and it's fractal. There's a lot of mathematics and there's a lot of cause and effect.
Wow. I wonder, like, does it also represent like multiple universes, or is this gonna
Yeah,
end
that will get a little bit complicated.
complicated? That will probably end up
Let's
blowing
find out
people's minds.
our Luca.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to different
Yeah.
universes.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting.
and another interesting thing is, I don't know if you have come across saligram. Saligram is like, if you see these stone structures, I think it's in a particular river in Nepal, that is thought to be the origin of all these stone-like structures. If you see, it has got a Fibonacci sequence, Fibonacci and vortex sequence in it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd heard of Shaligiram, but I'd never seen it. And I know because it was I first heard the term in this Mirabai bhajan when this snake became a
Yes.
Shaligiram.
Yeah.
When it was sent to her by the Rana, her husband.
Yes. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I've put a little picture here from Wikipedia of the same.
Lovely. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So if you see like these saligrams, there are different, and they are associated with Vishnuji, Sri Vishnu, and they had Sri Vishnu is associated with Soma as well. So the structure of Soma, if somebody in the future, if they try to understand the mathematics and the chemical structure of Soma, of love, it is nothing but it would be vortex mathematics and Fibonacci mathematics all combined together. So you would see like here, you can see like there would be, if you calculate, there would be certain mathematical sequences. And these were used in the ancient Vedic periods as well, because I think the mathematics was quite high on those levels. They were able to use these maths to, either put the Jivatma into an animal or take Atma out of the animal as well. So these are very, very important, the saligrams. And even if today, if you go to villages or people who actually have saligram from generations, like, and they are very powerful. You can't like pray them just as you pray in, idols. Like there is a particular method to make sure like you pray to them as well, because they have got a lot of power stored within them, and they have the capability of, there's a lot of mantras and tantras associated with it. And people can either use it for white magic and also black magic as well. So it's very, very
black magic thing is scary. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
wow. I didn't, yeah. Well, that's so interesting. So there's a special, so when you say a particular method, is a special kind of puja, special kind of
Special puja for
yeah.
doing Saligram puja. And there are various stories associated with how Saligram was actually first formed. There is, he married Tulsi ji, which is like the leaf, like the plant, which is like very sacred in ancient India as well.
Yeah.
And there is also like, I found, you were right, like about Meera ji, who Mirabai, she was born in, I think, 1400s, where during the same period where Akbar was ruling as well. And there is a story that Mira's brother-in-law, they wanted to kill because she was always devoted to God and she wasn't, they didn't like it. So they considered people who are more devoted to God as mad.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
very strange, because there is two types, like you can be either mad for material things or Mike things, or you can be mad for God. or to understand Brahman. There is no third thing. So she was like, she was actually a gopi during the Mahabharata time. She was most likely, I think, Lalita Devi, who was like a Sakhi of Sri Radha as well. And because Vedas tell us about rebirth, what happened in her previous birth when she was a gopi, she got married, and Krishna had come to after she got married, and her parents or in-laws told her not to show her face because, in the villages, the new bride, they put like a dupatta and then they don't show the veil, and then they don't show their face. And Krishna kept on saying, please show me your face a little bit, please show me your face, and she didn't in that birth. So she took birth again, and this time it was her trying to she madly wanted to see Krishna because in the previous birth she didn't show her face to Krishna while Krishna was requesting. In this birth she was requesting Krishna to appear all the time. So that is how the cause and effect they appear. And then that is how she went to the Krishna Loka as well.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that backstory in terms of her previous birth. I didn't know that. Wow. That's so interesting.
Yeah. So her brother-in-law had sent a snake so that the snake can bite her and she dies, and the king can marry someone else, or he can marry someone else, I think. So the snake actually became, when she opened the box, the snake actually had become a saligram. So this is now in Vrindavan in one of the temples, Mirabai temple. And
this is meant to be the actual Shaligram,
yes, yeah.
Wow. So then so remind me again, Shaligram, they're typically found sorry, you say near in water or something?
In water, yes. They're nothing but like pebbles which you find in water. So if you go to any river or any sea, you find like something extraordinary, like a pebble which has got some marks on it, you would automatically know it's a saligram, and it has got powers in it, because saligram are said to be like our ancients, because they were so mathematically advanced. They might have put a lot of power inside the saligram. They're using these powers to transmigrate, they're doing a lot of paranormal activities where they can transmigrate the soul from one body to another body. They can trap bodies inside the stone, and then they can release them as well. So it was very, very powerful.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so it's better to be on the safe side and use it as a white or white magic, which is like to unblock your chakra rather than
unblock the chakra. That's so interesting. So then, are these shaligrams, can they be formed anywhere in the world, like or is it,
I think what I understand is like they're only found in particular rivers. One of the rivers is in Nepal at the moment. But we need to understand if there are other rivers where these saligrams are also found. And this is one of the pictures I took from that river where there are a lot of saligrams that are found. And they're very powerful because they have all the mathematics like vortex and fractal. It's the same maths that is mentioned in the Mahamrityunjay mantra. And Vedas say that nothing in the universe, like you, me, everyone else, the planets, everyone is moving somewhere. The movement is either forward or backward, depending upon how our psyche is.
Very
so if we are developing our psyche every day a little bit, we are moving to a different loka or different direction. We are moving higher, or we can also move backward. So the movement is
an upward spiral or downward spiral.
Yeah. So for example, if somebody has a Ketu in some nakshatra, they have this capability of going, taking, say they have Ketu in Shravana nakshatra. Shravana is associated with collective consciousness. Yeah. So they have the capability to collect a lot of people's consciousness or people's attention. But then Ketu is associated with Mooladhara or Moola Chakra. So they will make sure like all these people that they have collected, they either go down or up. So they have that power.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think Gandhiji had Ketu in Shravana Nakshatra, and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had Sun in Shravana Nakshatra.
I know in my case, Rahu and Shravan.
Yeah, so even I think your Venus is also in Shravan. So
yeah, Venus is in Shravan as well. Okay, well, my kid was in
it gives you a
Ashlesha.
lot of power to collect Rahu type of people and Venus type of people.
Yeah.
And then what you do with them and is depends on the movement.
Yeah.
This movement that we are talking about, both vortex and fractal.
Yeah.
So that's how it is important.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting.
And Saligram is important. These are some examples that we had seen in the previous. So you will find it in crystal, you will find it in trees, you'll find it in different parts of heart, lungs, in crystals, in architecture as well, in diagrams where, say, in the 1700s, everyone was like they wanted to suppress and other philosophies and so the artist actually coded the diagrams so that is why if you see even till day Mona Lisa is so important because it has got like the codes. There have been movies made on I think I forgot the name of the movie about the code.
Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code, yeah. So these are like all the similar concepts. Like there is mathematics in a lot of these temple architecture as well. And even if you see lightning, electricity, everywhere you will see fractals and vortex, golden ratio. Even in computer systems, in delta, where sea and the river are mixing, in the ice, in the snow. And the concept is same, the karta and karak, the cause and the effect. And it's Rahu and Ketu as well. And inhaling becomes the Ketu, exhaling becomes the Rahu. It's again linked to Ida and Pingala as well.
Yes, and you have the Anulom Vilom type of
pranayama. So Anulom Vilom or the breathing exercise help us,
You breathe in through the left nostril, and
yeah.
That's the Ketu, and then you breathe out through the right nostril, and that's the Rahu. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And the concept is as above, so below. Whenever we try to we take any of these methods, be it breathing exercise, meditation, be it people in the ancient past used to use psychedelics, or in the Middle Ages, they were using a lot of occult or tantra or other methods as well. All of them did nothing, but they used to generate soma, which would help us generate the divine light, which would activate the third eye. Because as humans, we can have three eyes, and the third eye is sleeping, which is like here. So the third eye can open with all these, and we get higher perception to understand a little bit more. And and the three types of karmas that we talk about, like all these concepts are merged together. Like everything, our mind, because we have three types of bodies, the physical, subtle, and causal. Whatever physical body's mind is thinking, that becomes the karma. The karma can be sanchit karma, like all the infinite lifetime karma. A subset of sanchit karma is prarabdha, based on which our current birth is. And we have a free will, obviously, which is agami and the kriyaman karma. Kriya is also associated with Kriya Yoga, which is like associated with the breathing as well. So if we do different methods, like different meditation methods, what it does is we are actively utilizing our free will. Otherwise, our fractal just goes round and round as prarabdha.
Yeah, and that's why mindfulness or this meditation is so important, because it helps center. And I know that we're all vulnerable to, falling into those old patterns of our fractals, and so, but I know that also with opening your third eye or doing these Kriya meditations, these special meditations, it's always good to, I know you've mentioned it before in previous lives, it's always good to do it under the guidance of a guru, so that you just do it carefully and slowly. You wouldn't want to go too fast with
Yeah.
Kundalini awakening or with the third eye opening, because if you
Yes.
open those too fast, then if
Yeah.
depending on your state of mind or your emotions, if they're not in such a good state, you may I know that you covered it in one of your previous lives. You may go to some look, some other realm, which is
Yeah.
not a look that you want to be in, or attract
Yeah.
certain entities
You
that you don't
definitely
want to
need a
attract.
guru for all of these.
Yeah, you'd need a guru for this.
Mm.
Yeah. But it's just so interesting though. You could try that method through a guru, or of course, like you mentioned, like bhakti, or the 64
For
different.
any method, like
Yeah, any
whatever
method.
method you use, you need a guru. Even like in the ancient past for psychedelics, there used to be shamans.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And the shamans, I think they're still there today,
Yeah.
actually. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you have they have these cacao ceremonies where they have shamans who would guide you through it. They'd manage the whole process so that they keep you safe when you're going through this process.
Mm.
And with of course, with the things like classical music or classical Indian dance, that those are two examples of the
Yeah.
64 types of
Yeah.
well, even not even just classical Indian arts, even with any art, any dance or music, you'd need a teacher for
Yeah.
it first, like who would guide you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
then those are good. And of course, I know, as you've mentioned before, the astrology, Jyotish, that's one way of trying to get a snapshot, to get some idea of what your prarabdha
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
what you have to go through in this lifetime. Both negative, but also positive
Positive as
things,
well.
also positive, and promises. And with the fractals, I know you've so kindly covered it. It's all thanks to you that I'm beginning to understand more and more that it's the
Yeah.
nakshatra placements of your grahas or your planets that tell you what sort of patterns do you have, your emotional, mental, and behavioral patterns. And if you
Yeah.
just look at them, there's both positive and negative possibilities. But then through these various methods, through being mindful, using the power of now, you choose the most positive
Yeah.
possibility to try
Yeah.
and
There is a lot of
change
power
your
in the now.
fractal. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of power in the now, and that can only be achieved through soma, which is love. So love is also very powerful. That's what Vedas say.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, love is the highest vibration, and
Yeah.
I know it can be. I know it's. I know that for some they'll say it's easy to say, it's hard to do. But then, I know it takes work, but it takes inner work. But then, when you rise above these things, when you see that we're all actually
Connected.
we're all connected, we're all sparks of that oneness, that same source. We're just all on our different parts, our different journeys. And there was one person, I think his name was Sonati. He's a person who lives in America. He has his own YouTube channel, and he was saying that he was talking from the point of view of astrology. He said, "Oh, when you look at the charts of different people, you actually have more compassion for them. That even if they say there are certain behaviors that are difficult, you say, oh, when you look at their chart, say, oh, it's part of their prarabdha. It's just, and it's not in a patronizing way. You just think, okay, that's
You
just
understand a little bit more. Yes.
you understand a bit more, you have compassion, you find that, oh, actually beyond all these things, we're all the same, we're all part of that oneness. So
Yeah.
that develops love and compassion and forgiveness as well, that understanding and love is the highest vibration, that soma, as you said.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so true. Like, I think even Sri K and Raoji said, like, what a psychologist takes months to understand about a person, a Vedic astrologer, if they have studied it well, they will take like 5 to 10 minutes to understand why it has happened.
Yes, it's so interesting. Yeah, I read that book that he had written something like this in that book about karma and rebirth.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so he had written in there that what psychologists would take a while to understand, that a good astrologer would be able to figure all that out, and I'm sorry for those who think it's woo woo, you're entitled to your views, but I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I've been through my own life experience. I'm convinced that
Yeah.
that this is a genuine
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
all due respect to people who disagree, like, yeah, I think it's true, because the way that the good astrologers, yourself included, and a couple of others, the things that they said about me, I think it got me spooked. I think, how did you know all this? How did you know this without talking to me and getting to know me? You just looked at my chart and you figured out these things. So yeah.
I think it's so interesting, because when I was in school, I was told like Vedas is nothing but they're just talking about some natures and some gods who are associated with nature, and that's it. And then
The thing that,
yeah,
sorry, and the thing that I heard, that, oh, it talks about rituals and that's it, but then,
yeah.
sorry, I cut you off, please carry on.
Sorry, yeah, it's the same, like it is just about some natures, and so it's like not much, so I didn't give like much attention to it, to be honest. But then when I actually tried to understand, there's so much to it, like it's vast, like there is no end to it, like to the knowledge. It's like so huge, Vedas.
Yeah, it really is so fascinating. And I know that this is Vedas Simplified. I know with simplified stuff, I mean, I suppose anyone who really gets into it, I think it would be,
It's like
there's
so
so much detail, but it's so fascinating.
yeah.
It really is wonderful.
Sorry, Con.
Yeah, no, that's all I have to say. Please carry on.
And Vedas tell us like no two individuals are same. Each one of us is very unique. That is because like everything is moving, like all the sky is moving. And when we are born, the screenshot of the sky becomes our birth chart. And that is our product as well. So the product keeps on changing, because the sky is moving as well. So no two individuals will be the same. If you see our thumb marks, our facial structure, everything will be different. The way we think, no two people can think alike. For everyone, there is a different method that has been given in Vedas as well. But having said that, there is also no difference between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Like they are also the same. So that is like a very, very unique thing, or Vedas mention. And the second thing is nothing is stable in the universe. Everything is moving either forward, backward, here, there. But the movement mathematics is vortex and Fibonacci and golden ratio, all that mathematics, which we find in the Mahamrityunjay mantra. And third is everyone is searching for happiness. So, that divine bliss that we are looking, everyone, be it anyone, even like the Asuras, even they were looking for happiness. Like everyone is looking for happiness. But then some people look for happiness in Brahman or, divine things. Some people can only are looking for happiness in materialistic things. Or the Maya, not material, but Maya things, like things which are illusion or simulation. And that is where they are getting, they are not getting satisfied. So the concept is like, say, for example, a Devta wanted to become Indra because Indra was like, the richest amongst the god. Even Indra wanted to become Varuna because he is more rich. So even in a higher loka, it is so funny, like everyone wants to achieve something above them, like the happiness they are wanting to achieve. They actually want to achieve like happiness, which is divine bliss or Brahmananda, like Paramananda, like Brahman's happiness. But then if they are looking in the wrong places, in the Maya, in the simulation, then they're thinking, okay, this is happiness, but then they are seeing somebody above them and they are saying, okay, no, I want that. So it's the desires keep on increasing. But then if they come to this spiritual world or the divine bliss, then that is where they actually find this actual happiness. So
that's so fascinating. And like they say that there's a saying that the universe is within you, so then you have to look within to kind of find that kind of bliss. Of course you can use these methods, but then it's about finding that kind of state of bliss within you to connect with that highest realm. And I know there are shlokas that talk about it. There are these verses from the Ved. There's one about talking about the bliss of a human. I know, I don't know if I'm quoting it correctly. It's like Saiko Manushananda, it's, I think, oh goodness, sorry, I probably can't remember. When I chant it, I'd remember it. Yeah, but then when I say it, I can't
Yeah, no
remember. It's
problem.
so strange. Yeah, it's basically talking about how the bliss of a human, like, is a fraction, is just a tiny fraction of the
Tiny
bliss of someone
fraction.
who has discovered, who has attained the state of Brahman,
Yeah.
and and it goes through the various levels. There's
Yes.
mankind, there's Gandharvas, there's Pitras, or ancestors as well. It's
Yeah.
just so interesting, that one.
Yeah, there are different levels that those kind of happiness can come to an individual, but then there are various layers. And
Yeah.
if one is only looking for happiness in Maya or simulation, then they might think that they have got happiness or somebody else. Like, for example, a simple example could be in social media. You see somebody's life and you're like, okay, that is it. I want that. But you actually don't know in that particular simulation that they have created for themselves, are they actually happy, or is it just appearing to be happy? So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
yeah,
then with social media, like, people are
yeah,
people would normally be quite selective about what they put
yeah,
up online.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that is true.
So in a Maya or simulation, the it appears to be happy, but then when you see somebody above, then that happiness ends, and then you want to go there. So that is how the desire goes on above. And I think everyone does things for gaining happiness, but they are lost because of Maya. And the only way to get rid of that Maya is when you consciously put your psyche or your mind to understand spiritual knowledge. And that is where you understand there is because happiness can be, there are only three things which are eternal. One is Brahman, which is the ultimate reality. The second is Jivatma, and the third one is Maya. So for a Jeev, he has only two ways, two paths. One is to understand Maya or gain happiness for through understanding that, or via Maya or simulation. So Vedas have got various these methods like Tantra and other meditation methods. It can be actually used to gain wealth as well. It is said that, for example, if you activate the Muladhara chakra, you become like a billionaire. It has got that much power.
Oh yeah, I mean, with I know with chakra meditations today, that people would say that, oh, unblock your root chakra, your Muladhara chakra, and then you'll be able to attract more abundance. People use affirmations and
Yes.
mantras. They say, oh, chant Lam, which is the the
Yeah.
mantra for the Muladhara. Yeah, people talk about these things. Yeah, if you want to attract more of this into your life, then yep, focus on this chakra and do these affirmations, or chant this, or do this, or wear this color, and or these crystals. Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, people can use these things also for material gains as well. And then, of course, you hear the tales of how people would these ancient stories of some people call them myths, but of how certain humans or even asuras, they do tapas, they do long penance in order to summon, in order to obtain boons or from of their own choice from whatever deity they worship, like Shiva Brahma, and then they get those who say, oh, I want this, so this is a certain material thing that I want. It's
Yeah, it
interesting.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting how everything merges together when you understand these concepts and then you try to associate with different things, and then you think, okay, everything is trying to tell me one thing.
Yeah.
So, and another beautiful thing I forgot to mention, that if you see like various companies have got their logos. So if you see Chrome will have these logos as well. If you notice, like there would be a vortex and Fibonacci in there.
Yeah,
The
Chrome also
Meta,
does have that.
which is Facebook, the if you see it will have M, which is like it has both vortex and
This is kind of an
Fibonacci.
infinity. It looks
Yeah,
similar to the infinity symbol. Well, not exactly. It looks a bit like a
yeah,
distorted
yeah.
version of the infinity
So all
symbol.
these symbols you will find like there is linked to vortex and Fibonacci in there as well. And Yeah, I think this is like one of the things that we discussed in the previous slide, like how these Shiva or divine light. If you understand, if you have read a little bit of physics, you will know like light year is a term used for distance. Light is like Agni or time. It is associated with Shiva. So even for space, you say like that planet is that many light years away. Light can only pass. So light is something that can pass. So Shiva is nothing but the light. And there are different lokas, there are different dimensional world. The current dimension, the current 14 lokas are present in the 4-dimensional world. It could be 1 to infinite dimensions. We are only trying to understand 4-dimensional at the moment. And human body is very, very important tool because it is said that humans have got some extra ability than other species, where they have the ability to generate soma within them, which will activate, which is through Ida and Pingala, and it will activate the Sushumna, and that Sushumna Nadi, the middle channel, is also connected to all the above loka and all the below loka as well. And it doesn't mean like all the below lokas are bad lokas or anything like that. I think I heard from one of my cousins who was reading about Patala. The Patala Loka is said to be like so technically advanced, like it is like the ultimate AI level advanced. It is so beautiful. That Loka is very beautiful as well.
Wow.
But then
Well, that's not what I imagined.
yeah, we would always think that they are all bad, but then once you start to actually read, because I think there are books written on each one of these lokas, and even the below lokas are very, very advanced in technology as well. And we also saw like how the Sushumna and the Nadis are associated with the spinal cord, how all these nerves, the 31 are nerves in the physical body and the 2 nerves in the subtle body, the 33 are associated with 33 crore Devi and Devtas as well. And the higher Sahasra chakra, the crown chakra, when Soma is activated and this light is activated and Sushumna is activated, what happens is this crown chakra appears to be 1,000 petals. So every part of this human brain, it gets lit. So it appears as if there are 1,000 petals which has been lit. So 1,000 petals lotus. And that is where a person can see like almost everything. You can go, you can do whatever you want, you can become whatever you want, you can become, like, if people want to be famous or rich, they can do all of that. They can go to above loka, they can go to below loka, they can do whatever they want. So that is the power of activating the crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, which is very, very difficult position to be in as well. And everything is associated with mind, because mind, whatever we think, it becomes karma. So our mind or psyche becomes very important. And mind can is associated, the Chandra or the moon is also so called as Soma, which because it has got Soma in it. And we also got this concept of how Ekapada, Shiva Ekapada is associated with, say, magic mushroom. And also it is said that when the first life came from the Mula chakra to this loka, the Bhur loka, all the life must have first come as a mushroom. The first life, yeah. And also we got the concept of Chaushapati Yogini temple, also 64 different varieties of, methods in bhakti movement, or the methods of bhakti or method of tantra or method of psychedelics. All of them would be like 64 different varieties of each. And we also saw like how these 3 bodies, the subtle, physical, and causal body, are there in 5 different koshas and 3 different types of karmas that they are doing, and this as well. And this is like the nakshatra mala that we have. So what happens is the psyche that we are talking about, the moon, which is in our, which is associated with our brain or our thinking, it goes through different constellations. So moon remains in one constellation for like one day, and it keeps on moving. Yeah. previously there used to be a main nakshatra, Abhijit nakshatra. So in mythological stories, I think you have already known this, like Moon had 27 wives, and these 27 wives had one brother, which was Abhijit. Yeah. So you see in our Bhur Loka, which is this Loka here, yeah, it has 88 different constellations, but the moon or our solar system only passes through these 12 zodiac, and each zodiac has got nakshatras, 3.5 nakshatra, roughly. And these are all these nakshatras written in Hindi. And Abhijit is the nakshatra of undefeated winning. So whoever is born in Abhijit nakshatra or has planet in Abhijit nakshatra, or does anything in Abhijit nakshatra, which is on, I think, 20th of January every year. So there's a beautiful story behind it as well. You know, the US presidential elections, like when they nominate the president, it happens on 20th of January every 4 years. Yeah. Then what do they call the election? Or
is it the presidential election? I think
yeah. So they make sure like it happens on 20th of January, which is when sun is in Abhijit nakshatra, which is undefeated.
Sorry, yes, the inauguration of the new president.
Inauguration, yes.
Yes, sorry.
The inauguration happens in on 20th of so I think it started after 1937. Previously, it used to happen in March, I think 3rd or 9th March, something around that day, when sun was in Shatabishak, which was so they thought like the president would be doing healing because Shatabishak is healing the world as well. But then for some weird reason, I think they changed the date to Abhijit, which is undefeated winning as well. There is a story in Mahabharata where Krishna understood that the Kauravas, they knew that they would start the war in Abhijit Nakshatra and they will win. So what he did was he put the Abhijit Nakshatra in a different, so he removed it from the Nakshatra Mandal. So that is one of the stories. So now, yeah, so now that is why we only have 27, but previously there used to be 28. And everyone born here in Abhijit Nakshatra or having planets here, it's a very, very strong chart as well.
Yeah, I think Abhijit is kind of, its placement is roughly like,
yeah, if you see, there is Shravan here, Shravan Nakshatra, and there is Uttarashad here.
Yeah.
So it has got some degrees of Shravan at the moment and some degree of Uttarashad.
Yeah.
So if you see both of them, so that would be Abhijit. So Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, for example, he has sun in Shravan Nakshatra, but when you actually see the degrees, it's in Abhijit, which is undefeated winning.
Yeah, I think I have my Venus retrograde in some degrees of Abhijit.
Yeah, so it is quite powerful, yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sorry if I got the term inauguration wrong. I don't know whether it's inauguration or swearing in of the president. Maybe
swearing in of
swearing in. Yeah.
And there's also another thing, like if that falls on a Sunday, for example, they still do the ceremony privately on that day. They don't do it on Monday. It's only for the public, but they still definitely do it on 20th of January. I think Barack Obama, he had a private ceremony first, and then because it was it fell on a Sunday that year, and then they did a public ceremony on Monday. But for sure they will have it on 20, and that falls in Abhijit Nakshatra. Yeah. And there is also a story about Indian Independence Day, like 15th of August, when India was 1947. All the politicians, even Nehruji, he went to all the astrologers, leading astrologers at that time, Vedic astrologers, and they told that 15th August is like not a good day at all. But I think Lord Mountbatten was like, if you want independence, this is the only day we will give you. And he gave some reason as well. But then I think the astrologist said that even if it's the bad day, but make sure you do the speech or within 28 minutes of Abhijit period, which is about after 12 noon or midnight 12, and 28 minutes after that and prior to that.
Ah.
So if you see like Nehruji, he delivered the speech just in 28 minutes, like there was 2 minutes left.
Oh,
He was
wow. So,
very precise. And that is why
oh,
I think India is saved.
I
Um,
see. So is this so was this during the day? I think to
I think
12:20
he did it in midnight, if
midnight.
I'm
Ah,
not wrong,
midnight.
because I
Ah,
think
okay,
his
sorry.
speech was like as the clock rings midnight,
Isn't
India
that
is, yeah,
isn't that interesting? Wow.
it's interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was as per Vedic astrology as well,
I
even.
see.
So even though nobody talks about it, but even at that level, everyone is using Vedic astrology.
Oh,
And
wow. So then are those times, I know you know more about astrology than I do. So then the times of the nakshatras are fixed, I think then those times of day.
so moon goes in one nakshatra every day.
Mhm.
Only Abhijit has been out of the mandala, but then whenever moon is in those degrees in between Shravan and Uttarashada, it can still be assumed that it is in Abhijit nakshatra.
I see. But when you were saying about, say, examples like when this Nehruji, when he gave that.
Every day, in Vedic astrology, it's not only every part is again divided into different parts. So even a particular day, even moon is for the entire day is going through a particular nakshatra. Even that day is divided into various parts. So there are some muhurtas even in every day, which are in Abhijit period, which comes around 12 noon and 12 midnight, 28 minutes here and there.
Oh, so it could be 12 noon and 12 midnight. And is
Yeah.
that fixed for each and
It's
every
it's
day?
fixed, yeah, because I think everything to do with sun is fixed.
Oh,
Everything to do with moon is moving.
oh, no wonder they have this idea of Brahma Muhurat, that
Muhurat,
yeah,
yes.
that when you want to learn something or study
Yeah,
something, then that's the best time
yeah.
early in the morning to get up. Now I'm curious. Now I know the deer in my head is running. Machine is running. Which
Yeah.
nakshatra is
The
that?
deer in your head started moving again,
Yeah,
wiggling here and there.
which nakshatra is that? I think Brahma Muhurat. I think I'll have to read this.
Yeah.
Ah,
And another beautiful thing, I don't know if you can visualize it or not. If you see all these nakshatra and planets, they have their own mandala, yeah,
yeah.
which is nothing but the mathematical equation of the both
I did
Fibonacci
not
and
know that nakshatras have their own
okay.
mandala. Oh, that's amazing. It's like
Yeah, so this is I got from this is only for Navgrahas. All these have got their own maths, and this is like an in-depth study. I think even I need to understand all of this, but it's interesting. Once you get into it, there's like I'm not talking to anyone for a few days. It's like in-depth study, yeah.
yeah.
But then if you see these, if you can visualize, the mandalas appear to be going inward or outward as well.
Yeah.
They're either coming up or either going down.
Mm.
Say, for example, this diagram here, you would see like the flower is going in or flower is up and it is like a pyramid.
Mm.
So every planet has got various capability. For example, when we say Ketu is in Shravan Nakshatra, it has both abilities. It has got Ketu is associated, say, for example, with Mula Nakshatra as well, or the root or the past. Yeah. So it has the ability to either take the consciousness to lower realms here
Yeah.
or the upper realms. It depends on the psyche. So the
Ah,
movement can be either ways. It depends on the psychology or the psyche, the mind.
and that's where the
So
mindfulness bit comes in.
yeah. So
Important to
every
that.
planet has got various, it has got positive and negative.
Mhm.
So when we say like Ketu in this is negative, no, it can be positive and negative quality. It depends on the site. So there was a very, very interesting study. I think it was by Eve Mendoza's, and she studied various saint chart.
Yeah.
And she said that there is a very, very slight, there's absolutely no difference between a chart of a highly saintly person and a like a serial killer. Because in
Oh
both
my
the
God.
cases, I think the mind is like wired differently, but it depends on their own psyche, how it is. So you will see like, I think Sri K.N. Raoji also did a comparison between Sri Rama's chart and Ravana's chart. If you see Ravana's chart, it's so, so powerful. But then why did he do these things? Why did he get killed? So all those it depends on like which way you are going. But the way that they are going, the mathematics is the movement of the forward and backward movement is vortex, and the spiraling motion is based on Fibonacci or fractal.
Yeah, and I guess it's also on depending on one's. I know it's partly on your free will and also your prarabdha. I know there's an interesting story about why Ravan incarnated as he was, like the story of the gatekeepers who were cursed by some
Yes,
Rishi for not allowing him to go through and see
yeah,
Vishnu, and then Vishnu tried to modify the curse. He said, "Okay, you can either take several births as a good person, but it would take you longer to get back to me, or you can take two births as some more negative." People, and then you can get to me. But then yeah,
yeah.
he's the gatekeeper said, no, I think I'd rather take the two births. And so I guess it's interesting because similar concepts I've read books. I've forgotten the name of the title of the book that I read, but that it's interesting that a similar kind of concept is where people say that in between your lifetimes, I mean, through some hypnosis, there were some studies done, and the people who apparently they said that they were remembering what actually happened in between their lifetimes, and they said that they went to some spirit world and then they actually got to choose their next lifetime. They say that, okay, you have this karma, this you have to balance this, and then so say, what lifetime do you want to choose? You can choose your parents or choose this or that, and then you'd make the choices, and then they say, okay, these are the contracts that you have, these karmic contracts. Okay, you'll meet these people who incarnate as these certain relations in your life, and you have to settle these kind of things with them. You'll go through these certain circumstances. So I wonder whether there's some kind of parallel there. That was interesting.
Yeah,
I just remembered
definitely,
that book.
definitely.
Yeah, and of course I know that according to Jyotish, I know the planetary placements, I know the graha placements, they're like the algorithms of your prarabdha, and I know part of it, I know some of it is fixed and you can't negotiate that or escape certain things, but
Yeah,
certain
product
things,
everyone has to
yeah.
fulfill, no matter who they are.
Yeah, but I suppose also certain positive things are that there are certain promises, or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
ways of uplifting yourself, or
yeah,
growing
yeah,
in a positive way, and you depending on your free will. So that's
yeah,
also there. So it's
yes,
not all bad, not all doom and
not all.
gloom. So
Yeah.
yeah,
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 but that is very interesting that you talk about product and you understand these bits. But if you read, like I know you have already read Mahabharata and all,
yeah,
even they will give you examples, like say for example, Draupadi had to go through this, or all the 100 son Kauravas had to be killed. There has been like they tell like the previous birth they did that, like their father Dhritarashtra was blind, like so that they will give you like past birth, why this happened and why this product has to happen. But then there's another thing, like something negative, say for example, has happened to you because of product. Do you just accept it and not do your dharma, or you accept that it is a product, but then you actually do use your free will to correct it as well? The
mm,
choice is always yours. Like, say for example, they gave the example of Draupadi and why the Vastraharan happened to her. They gave examples from her previous birth, same birth, and so on. But then something wrong has happened, even if it's product. Something wrong has happened to the woman, and that
exactly.
was at that particular, the power of now is active then, and that is
Yeah.
where this dharma is what you have to choose as per your psyche. So you
Ah,
can't
you're
accept
talking.
that, okay, product has happened. You understand that because it has happened because of something past. But then do you stop there, or you still take the correct steps after that?
Sorry, are you talking about the people who were there in the court when she was humiliated, like
Yeah, and
what they
even
should have
like
done?
the
Yeah.
Mahabharata, that should have happened or not. Like I think after the entire episode, they all had a meeting, and then they were deciding if this is product. I think Sri Krishna told them like this is because of that, because he knows all the past birth. He told everyone understood that this has happened because of the product. But then, do we stop or do we fight? Because whatever has happened was definitely wrong.
Yeah.
And they Shri Krishna said, no, you still have to fight because you have to go with the dharma. And that is where the concept of dharma or righteousness or rita, it comes in.
Oh, you mean he was saying, he was telling the Pandavas, okay, so this was your problem, this is why you had to go through
Go
certain
through
suffering.
this, yeah.
But then still he was saying that you still have to fight, because even though you may have had prarabdha or whatever, then you still have to stand up to things that aren't right, and
Correct,
so that,
yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's, that is true. Yeah, that is certainly true. It's just like, I mean, it's just like, some people may there are certain people who may say that, oh, suffering someone is going through, oh, it's their karma, and so some people may use it as an excuse, maybe to not have sympathy, not have compassion for them, or to not be so humane towards them. Whereas actually, I think even if it is some pride, that doesn't mean that you're not going to try and help somebody who's in
Exactly.
pain.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, if you had that kind of attitude, then you'd say, well, there shouldn't be any doctors or psychotherapists or no healers.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going through their proud, oh, let them suffer.
Yeah.
That's what they deserve. And so
Yeah.
no, that is true. Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
should
that
still,
is where your mindfulness or your agami karma comes in.
yeah.
Otherwise, the same pattern, the same product keeps on repeating.
Yeah, and I guess when it comes to the bigger picture, like, and I know this is, this may sound triggering for some people, but then, to keep saying that, oh, but this person did this, or either this person did something like at this point of time that was wrong, and then, oh, therefore you have to suffer, like for your whole life, or they say that, oh, in your ancestors did this, or these people did this, so therefore, you have to suffer the consequences if you're gonna, but well, yeah, that's one perspective. But then I think if you are to break, you need to try
Break
to
the
break the
pattern.
chain, break the pattern, like just choose new patterns, like, and then, instead of living in the past, and constantly, I'm not meaning to be unkind, but constantly kind of harping on, or constantly like talking in a loop, like, oh, this happened, or this thing was done that was bad. Yeah, I'm not saying that, yeah, whatever was done was, whatever wrong that happened should have happened. Yeah, of course it's bad, but then you also got to try to, you got to realize that the past is in the past, and as long as that has been corrected, or people, or certain people who did certain things that were wrong, they realized their mistake, and they admitted it, owned up, and they took responsibility, and they've improved themselves, then you move forward, you move forward, you break that pattern. Otherwise, if you're going to keep being angry, you're going to keep blaming and shaming people, then you're just going to keep repeating the same cycles and patterns over and over and over again.
Yeah. And
So,
also, like, this is where the concept of guru is very important, because Vedas say that, the antakaran concept, our mind will never give a judgment against our own mind.
Yeah.
So we will never know, like, if we are, whatever we want to do is the right or wrong. A true guru can give us like the proper advice, because they have like more understanding, more higher perception and higher ability. Like even like in Mahabharata, Arjuna came to Sri Krishna to, for guidance as a guru. And so that is the concept of antakarna as well. Like our human psyche or human mind will never give us a judgment that whatever we have done is right or wrong.
Yeah,
For us, whatever we have done is always right. But
I think
like,
if your hamka is in charge, if that's the one in
yes.
charge, you think, no, I can't be wrong. No, I'm not going to question like why this or that. I think, but I think unless you've cultivated that sense of, you through mindfulness or meditation or various practices, unless you become more self-aware and you say, oh, hold on, that's the ego talking, or that's the ahamkar talking, that what is my higher self saying, what is the actual right thing. Unless you develop that, then it is true that you would probably need like a good guru, like a guru with who really is who truly is wise, or who has that kind of higher perception and that kind of insight. That definitely is true. And I think that's why they say that, I know that's why at least in the Gita, one of the 9, I think it's 9 different virtues. I think one of the 9 virtues that they recommend, swadhyaya, a study of the scriptures,
Scriptures.
or any scriptures, any sacred or philosophical texts that teach you higher wisdom. That's one way of trying to give yourself guidance. And I know that it's difficult. I know it's really difficult when you're put in situations. We've all been there. We've all been in situations where we may not have always made the best sort of choice, where under pressure, when you're when you're put in a situation that's really difficult and that really pushes your buttons and your triggers, then sometimes you may not always respond in a way that's great. But then you try to, with time, with practice, you learn from your experiences, and then you sort of learn to take accountability and learn how to be a bit more learn to be more mindful, more in line with your higher self or your Atman, rather than with your ankar. That definitely is true. And you just break cycles, break negative patterns and cycles.
And also, very interestingly, human birth chart, the Vedic astrology birth chart, it gives you a clue where you will find your guru. In some birth charts, it's mentioned that wherever you are, in that place you will find. For some people, they have to go on pilgrimages and to a different far-off land, and then they will find it there. And for some people, they have this capability because of their life experiences. They can become their own guru and the guru for others as well. So there are different combinations where you can find where exactly you will find this guru. So you see, some people are psychics. They develop it because they have this capability of, for psychics, something to relate it to mind, as well as guru, Jupiter as well. So there will be some combination there where they can be their own guru as well and be the guru for others as well.
Oh, I see. So that's to do with Jupiter and the moon then?
Moon as well, yeah. So guru is the guru. And by default, guru is like husband in women's chart. So a husband, be it bad or good, obviously they'll teach you something, so they become the guru. And also, it is also mentioned where I think I read somewhere, even your worst enemy is the best teacher.
Yeah,
so even
that's true.
Everything is like teaching you something, so everything is a guru.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said a very similar thing to what my Reiki and meditation teacher Sneha, what she says, and what other great coaches and mentors say, that they say that everybody in your life, whatever their relationship be to you, whether they're your friend, whether they in inverted commas, your enemy or your rival, or someone who's an antagonist, who's antagonistic towards you, they all are your teachers in some way. I think they're meant to push certain buttons, and I know some people say that, there are all kinds of, I think what you see as negative qualities in them, I know some people say that they're reflections of something in you that needs healing, or
yes.
or even if it isn't a reflection of something that needs healing in you, it's like a test, it's like a test of how whether you would use your free will to try to just choose the best possible response. I guess it's kind of with nakshatras. Like I know with me, as an example, I know you say my Mars is in Jeshta, which is a good thing. Yeah, it's exalted.
Everything has got good and bad, as I said.
It's good thing. Yeah, it's exalted, and I know there are certain good things about it being placed. I know you say it gives me courage, but then I know you said at the same.
It's like Indra. It's like you can use your courage, as Indra had the courage as well. So you can use that courage. And you're right, everything is because it's a hologram. So you create your own universe. So it is up to you how you choose your Mars in Jeshta. It's either in a positive way, as an Indra, or as a Lakshmi, which is who is associated with a little bit of jealousy as well.
Yeah, or with unbridled rage,
or rage, yeah.
No, do not choose the anger.
I want the right things to happen.
It's like, I want the right things to happen. No, don't get angry. Don't get triggered. Don't get triggered. Breathe, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. It's like,
deep breath.
Choose love, choose the positive. You have to control your Mars,
Yeah, so everything, because it has got the movement can be either ways. So even like for planets, for nakshatras, for you, me, everyone, we have a choice to go like take this vortex and Fibonacci, our fractal patterns to either directions that we want
Yeah.
as per our psyche. So that is the power that we have. And we create our own hologram, our own reality,
Yeah.
which is very, very interesting that Vedas have put forward
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And the other concept is like, you see, like this is one of the diagrams, I think one of, I think my friends, he sent me. But then if you see like all these karmas, this is like a very complicated, but it gives you some pictorial the representation of when you say, why this thing happened to me? Why me? Because
Yeah.
of this. So all your karma from the Sanchit karma, it comes to Prarabdha karma, and then all the Prarabdha karma is what you are going through. So these are all the buckets of karmas that is put into different different planets in different nakshatras, and they are teaching you something.
That's such a fascinating diagram. It looks so complicated, like,
It's very interesting, I
the
found.
that vortex of karma is
Oh,
like
it's a vortex and Fibonacci sequence of
vortex
karma.
and Fibonacci.
And everything is happening in 3 different layers, as our body is like in causal or in subtle and in our physical. The subtle realm is what the grahas or the planets, the nakshatras are. And that is what is activated in our sleep, not deep sleep, but in our sleep where we can dream. So even dreams can tell you a lot of information as well. Sometimes if you study the dreams properly, or you study Vedic astrology, it's the same thing. It's on a subtle layer. In the causal layer, everything is splitting into 2. So you see, like if you read the scriptures, you will understand like for everything there is a shadow as well. Like the bright, I think Carl Jung said, the brighter the light, the bigger the shadow.
Interesting, yeah, because I know that people who, again, I know I'm referring to people I know who, teachers I know who are into meditation. They talk about doing shadow work, it's like they refer to that, and they say that and interestingly my Reiki meditation teacher Sneha Ramji, she was saying that the higher you ascend, the more you go towards ascension and towards the light, the greater the darkness or the shadow side. She was saying, it was really interesting. She was saying that the more you try to progress, the more you try to grow spiritually, the more you try to go towards the light. Well, it's like for every light there's a shadow, like the greater your shadow side will come up, into
yeah.
But
that spiral movement that we saw, like the vortex and Fibonacci, it can go either ways. It can go to the light or it can go to the shadow. So it's up to us. Like the choice is us. So that is the free will that we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right, Atra.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. No, I'm only repeating what I've been told. That's nothing that I came up with it, but it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And
It's another fascinating thing. You use the word repeat because we have been told by my gurus as well that when it comes to Vedic knowledge, you have to tell that as a parrot. Whatever you heard, you tell that. And if you're telling something from your own perception, tell that as well. Like it's from my perception, it's not from Vedas.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep that pure knowledge passing from generation to generation. So you have to tell as a parrot. Parrot, he tells whatever he tells. So you have to repeat it. So that's how like the actual information also passes through our generations as well. And that's how we know whatever Vedas we know. It's like even if the scriptures have gone, but then it has still passed orally as well. And because this concept of parrot, like tell that as a parrot, like do not add your own interpretations.
I see. You have to differentiate between the actual knowledge, the original knowledge, and your own kind of interpretations or your own perceptions. Yeah, that's true. It's so interesting you say that, because I know this may not be exactly related. It kind of it's sort of different from what people call art nowadays. They'll say, oh, try to put your own spin on it, try to put your own interpretation. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but then this Yeah, it's good. It's different from that. But I guess with the way Vedic knowledge, it's kind of like teaching maths. I mean, you can either with mathematical concepts, you have to teach them, as they are,
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise you're not
yeah,
teaching
it's
maths.
exactly the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you believe in gravity or you don't, it still works.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's like
true.
Vedas, you believe it or not, but the concept still works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one more fascinating thing I wanted to say about, so the nakshatras, like there are various stories associated with nakshatra, and they are still how they are valid. Like one of the examples is, like, for example, Ganeshas. Ganesha comes from a word ganas. Ganas are nothing but attendants of Shiva. Yeah, if you see like all those people dancing behind Shiva,
Yeah.
and they live in Mount Kailash, and Ganesha was chosen as the head or the leader of all these ganas. That is why the name Ganapati or Ganesha,
Mm.
leader of all the ganas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when Shiva and Parvati, they were about to get married, these ganas, they started dancing during the marriage profession, like the procession. In India, when the marriage procession starts, from the groom side, the groom goes to the bride side, and then there is a marriage procession where everyone dances, like all their friends and everybody dances.
Ah.
So all these ganas started dancing, and the marriage procession started in Purva Falguni. There is a nakshatra Purva Falguni,
Yeah.
and the marriage happened in Uttara Falguni nakshatra. Because all these stories are happening at a subtle layer, which is the layer here in this
Ah, I
layer.
see. I
Yeah,
see.
in here.
Sorry, can't see where the mouse is. Oh,
Oops.
oh.
Did you see that? It,
Sorry. Point out where
so
your mouse
in
is again.
this layer, which is the sky, whatever we see the sky, it's all subtle layer.
Oh,
So
is this the one where the different kinds of realms are, or is this the one on the bottom right corner?
as I mentioned, there are three layers.
Yeah.
One is the causal, subtle, and
Uh-huh.
physical.
Yeah.
So for something for us to happen in physical, it has already happened in
Yeah.
subtle layer
Yeah.
and causal layer.
Yeah.
So this marriage, because it's happening in a nakshatra,
Yeah.
the fascinating story that we hear is like the Ganas started dancing in the
Yeah.
constellation Purva Falguni,
Yeah.
and marriage happened in Purva Falguni.
Yeah.
So when people have planets in their chart, in the Purva Falguni nakshatra, they
Yeah.
believe more in partying. So you would see all of them going to clubbing, more partying, or if they are spiritual, they would be dancing. You know how people dance in Bhakti tradition
Ah,
in
yes.
the
Yeah.
roads, and then so they would believe in dancing, partying more, and so on. And people more in Uttara Falguni nakshatra, if they have planets in there, they believe in the bindings of marriage. They will go to more marriage events. They will believe in the constitution of marriage more.
Ah, I
So it
see.
is so something related to all of these
That's so
things will happen.
interesting. Yeah. How these fractals of the nakshatras, how they manifest
Yeah,
like, in reality, in the physical plane. Yeah.
yeah.
Very
So if
interesting.
you understand your birth chart, then you understand what planets they are, which houses they are, what they mean, and then what nakshatra they are, and what nakshatras stories behind those nakshatra. Then you
Absolutely.
would see like they form like a story for you, and that pattern is actually happening in your life. And I
Yeah.
have seen this repeated and it's so fascinating. How did someone 5,000 years or 2,500 years ago know at least this much? They definitely had something more, some more
Absolutely.
understanding to come to this point.
Oh, absolutely is.
Yeah.
I guess they must have had, in terms of nakshatras, they must have had some higher perception, because I don't think that could have been achieved through technology or something, that's something I think that you would have had to gain through some insight or through some,
Soma.
so yeah, in that kind of state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's just
And
so fascinating.
and I just wanted to end with this again, that because Oppenheimer is in news, And if you see his chart, I think you would see like why his chart got activated now. It forms like there is a legendary yoga because the planet are transiting. Some of the planets came on his sun and Mars again. And that activated his chart again because those two planets were highly activated in his chart, which made him famous at that point of time. And currently in the transiting sky, they again transited on that. So even if a person dies, his chart is still active.
I did not know this.
Yes. So if a person is said to be like they will form a legacy, that means the transiting planet will again and again go in that particular, there is some rules and some overlapping on their current birth chart. So his chart had a promise of becoming a legend or leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
And you know that his on the transiting sky, it got overlapped with his certain planets, which had actually made him interested in all of these things, and that is how. And I think his this quote is his. I love his quote. Like the access to the Vedas is the greatest privilege this century may claim over all the previous centuries. So he knew Sanskrit, he knew the Vedas. He is like brilliant, and I think we are lacking some understanding, but we are heading towards the right direction, at least understanding a little bit of Vedas.
I absolutely. I think that definitely seems to be like increasing interest. There are loads of, there's so many channels, on Vedic concepts, on astrology, and on meditations, and just trying to get to know the Veda and the scriptures again. So yeah, definitely, I feel that there is this trend that's moving towards trying to the collective, more and more people are wanting to familiarize themselves with this and understand it again. So that's really good. But that's amazing. I did not know that after someone passes away, that chart is still
the chart lives.
I
The chart always lives, and
really.
for people who are leaving a legacy, that gets activated in the transits, so nobody forgets them. So I think for normal people like me, everyone might forget me after say 100 years maximum. I think somebody will remember if I have children or not. But then after that, nobody remembers me because my chart is like there. But then if a chart has a promise of becoming legendary and leaving a legacy, that means it's a very, very powerful chart, and people will keep on remembering as and when the transit happens. So that's the promise of the transit.
Well, so I guess what Oppenheimer had in his chart, I guess the other people who
he had a very, very strong sun, Mars,
like Einstein, or to Rabindranath Tagore, Oscar Wilde, William Shakespeare, Tulsidas, like all these various people from all over the world, all these great philosophers or inventors or artists. I think they would all be remembered. Wow, I did not know this. So a strong sun or a strong Mars.
And not only that, like there are various combinations that make people famous and also help them leave a legacy. There are some combination, like there has to be combination between 8th and 5th house. Or for example, if moon is in the 5th house in the sign 8, which is Scorpio, people like that leave a legacy as well. So there are various combinations.
Moon in Scorpio, moon in the 8th house.
Moon in the 8th house. Moon in the 5th, but in Scorpio sign. So people have a promise of leaving legacy, or there is some combination between 8th and 5th house. So there are various combinations which help people to leave, legacy as well. So you might want to Google Oppenheimer's chart and see where the current transiting planets is and which overlap, and why he is in news again and the movie is made again on him. So you'll see like the exact date that these two planets came and his chart, the exact date the movie got released, and so many people actually started talking about
That
him
is so
again.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing as well. It's just and I suppose there may be certain nakshatra placements, like if
Also, yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
oh, so what nakshatra would that be? Abhijit or something? Or the
I'll have to check, but there are some videos that has come up showing his chart, which is you want to not miss it.
oh,
If you're
okay. The
running,
deer in me will rush.
you'll be rushing after this. I think the deer
Yeah,
is
yeah,
running.
yeah.
I think Sri K. N. Raoji, he mentioned quite interesting. I think Einstein, he was 24th, he stood 24th in his class.
Yeah.
But he mentioned that his chart had the promise of leaving a legacy or becoming famous.
Yeah.
So he always jokes that nobody remembers who the first 23 in the class were.
Yeah.
Who stood the first rank 1 to 23. But people remember even if he stood the 24th in his class, like in his marks, he was the 24th rank. But people still
Yeah.
remember him. And that is the promise of legacy in a chart.
Yeah, I think that's written in that Karma and Rebirth book. That's so interesting. Yeah. Really interesting. That's true though. Yeah. Very fascinating.
And that is it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alka. That was absolutely wonderful and informative, and as always. So thank you so much for giving
Thank
your
you.
time, and effort, to making these slides and just telling us these things that you know. Really looking forward to the next lives. So yeah, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
Uttara.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
You
All
take
right.
care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.